So, going into this episode, I had heard that it was going to be a scary one, and also it was going to be a standalone episode, free from all the absolute bullshit presented to us in Spyfell, which is good. Goodness so far. Also, best news ever, it wasn't written by Chris Chibnall. Oh, happy days. Oh, and the legend himself, James Buckley, is in it, wearing a weird green wig. So, with all this stuff going on for the episode, was the final result any good? Meh, it was alright-ish. Ish. Very high emphasis on the ish. So the Doctor and co end up in a spa resort, and lo and behold, there's some shit going down with some monsters trying to murder everyone. So the Doctor and co need to try and survive. Pretty basic plot, really. Okay, on to the good things in this episode. Number 1, the coupons. I liked how when the coupons were all put together by Graham, it became a transporter that transported everyone straight to the resort. That was a neat little sci-fi concept, I thought. It's good to see a writer know what they're doing with the genre they're writing for, unlike some people. Number 2, Graham. Graham is great in this episode as always, as he provides some funny dialogue here and there, and is insistent on not leaving Vilma behind as they try to escape from the dregs. Just doing the things a good Doctor Who companion should be doing, unlike some people, but I'll get to that. Also, just a small thing. Now, I hate to be the guy that's really nitpicky, but this little thing just stood out for me, right? So when they first get to the resort and start splitting up, Graham says to the Doctor that he's going to go sit down for 3 hours, then get up and sit down somewhere else, then get cocktails. Now, to each their own, but surely you'd get a drink, then go sit down. Like, when I go to Weatherspoons, I don't go right in and just sit down and then think, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit down first for like a while, then get a drink after. Surely, you go get a drink first and then sit down and enjoy your drink. Because, you might as well, because, because once you get your drink, you're going to sit down anyway. It's just like, so why wait to get the drink? Might as well just get it first, then sit down. I mean, it's that just seemed weird to me. But anyway, I digress. Number 3, the visuals. The sets look quite nice, like the corridors in the spa, and like the whole spa looked really good, I thought. It had that like sci-fi feel to it. Again, like most episodes in the Chibnall era, like visually it all looks quite nice, The Dreg prosthetics look quite neat too, even though the design wasn't very original. Like, they look too much like the Hoiks from Loving Monsters and like Stan Torchwood. So that was kind of a disappointment. But it's Stephen though. It looked good though either way, I guess. Well, that's about it for good things. Now on to the bad things. Number 1, the pre-credit scene is gone again. Ugh, I was immediately disappointed by the pre-credit sequence being gone again. I was so happy to see it back as well. Ugh, that's a pity. Number 2, the pacing. Good lord, the pacing was way off this episode. Like, everything was just going at breakneck speed. Like, things started happening like way too quickly, and I feel like the pace was very damaging for this episode, as a lot of the tension and the horror was like rendered mute by how fast events were unfolding. So we don't get any real chance to let anything sink in. Like, there's no real sense of norm established before like all the bad things start happening. It would have been nice to have some more time spent with the Doctor and the companions having fun, exploring the spa and seeing what weird futuristic services there are. Then slowly we start seeing things go wrong as the monsters break in, and we see glimpses of them lurking around killing people, and like we keep it building up from there, like the tension. But no, straight away things go wrong as Ryan catches a virus from a vending machine, which causes him to hallucinate bats, and he has to suck his thumb to stop the hallucinations.
What?
What? That was just really weird, and it didn't help with me taking the episode seriously at all, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna make a scary episode, then don't have really silly moments like that, as it just really confuses the tone that the episode's going for. Then not long after, we see the monsters, and they're already attacking the spa, so any suspense that could have been built up is gone. Like, this all happens within the first 8 minutes of the episode. It all happens far too quick. Then stuff just keeps happening and happening from there, and there's just no breathing room or any time to process anything. And because of this, I just got really bored about halfway through the episode. I just couldn't get invested into what was happening. Because it was just all just so rushed, so it all just became a mess of just things and noise. Like, it's like Ed Hime was just writing this episode in a rush. It was such a shame. Number 3, Ryan and Yaz. So, in this episode, Ryan didn't really do a lot as usual. He's just the comic relief, which is a shame. Like, he did chat at Bella and seems to be really carrying wood for her, but, like, hold up, I thought Ryan wanted to date Yaz's sister. So, I guess he's changed his mind now? Like, I wasn't really buying into the Ryan and Bella thing, because there just wasn't any basis to them liking each other at all that I could see. And he had zero chemistry as well, and it was just all very awkward and just not the good kind of awkward. It was just awkward, you know? Also, at the end, when Ryan and Bella, like, part ways, they do the stupidest fucking goodbye gesture I've ever seen. Like, they both, like, fucking start sucking their thumbs at each other. It's just fucking stupid. Jesus Christ. Oh, my lord. Now, look, I get that, when they first met, they were, like, sucking their thumbs because, like, the fucking vending machine virus shit. But fucking hell, it looks stupid, man. I don't know what Ed was thinking there. Jesus. I just couldn't help but think of the scene from Dumb and Dumber where fucking, like Lloyd's, like, sucking his fucking thumb in the bathroom, like, in the fucking public toilet. It's fucking daft, man. Now, what do you think Yaz does in this episode? Well, Yaz does quite a lot of useful things in this episode, such as... Number 4. Too many side characters, not enough development. There were a lot of side characters in this episode, and there was, like, no time to really develop any of them. Like the Vilma and Benni characters, like, it's established that they've been together for like 40 odd years, and now Benni, like, wants to propose to Vilma. But why now? Like, after all this time, like, we never find out. Like, also, like, I love when Benni is, like, outside the truck thing when they're, like, looking for him when he's with the dregs, and then he asks Vilma if she'll marry him, and then, like, immediately after, he asks if someone will fucking shoot him. Like, it's fucking comedy gold. It's fucking hilarious, man. Also, like, I find it really weird, like, how quickly they just dismiss Benny's death in this episode. Like, you don't even see it. Like, they just kill him. Like, Kane just kills him off screen. And then, like, when Vilma's just like, oh, what happened to Benny? She's just like, oh, I just killed him, lol. It's like, wait, really? It's like so much of this episode is, like, focused on, like, finding Benny. And then they just kill him, and that's it. Done. It's like, really? It's just fucking, it's weird how quickly they just dismiss that like it's nothing. Like, poor fucking Benny. Also, another thing, like, we don't even find out, like, what was happening with Benny. Like, whether, like, the dregs were, like, turning him into, like, one of them, or they were torturing him, or, like, why he wanted to die. It's like, was he just suicidal? Like, I don't even know, like, because the episode doesn't even fucking tell you. Oh, Jesus. Also, here's a little drinking game for you, right? Take a shot every time Vilma says Benny, but I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, because you'd be fucking dead. Oh yeah, also, can we, like, talk about Hyphen for a second, yeah? Like, I don't know where they were going with her design. Like, it looks so goddamn cheap. Like, I guess it's a tribute to, like, the designs from, like, Classic Who, but those designs, they look cheap because they were cheap, as, like, the entire productions were cheap back then. But back then, it didn't look out of place because, like, the whole thing was cheap. But here, it looks like it sticks out like a fucking sore thumb. Like, because it's, like, you have this really cheap, like, design, whereas everything else is, like, really high production value, and it just looks fucking weird. It's like, it's just daft, really. Also, like, there was James Buckley's character, and he didn't really do anything in this episode, like, that much. You would think that if they were going to have, like, James Buckley, they would, like, use it more, but they didn't, which surprised me, to be honest. Like, he's the, like, mechanic at the spa, but for some reason, he's just pretty shit at his job, whereas his son, Silas, is, like, far better at him than it for some reason. Like, it kind of makes you wonder why he hasn't been fired if he's this bad at his job, but, you know, oh well. It seems like Ed Hime is, like, something against dads, as he also wrote, like, the dad in It Takes You Away, like, in last series, like, is an idiot as well, like, which is just, seems weird to me. Also, towards the end, like, James Buckley's character is trying to secure, like, the doors, and, like, and he's doing it wrong, like, and his son Silas is, like, trying to show him how to do it right, but he's, like, James Buckley's, like, shush, because he's, like, trying to think about how to do it. Then, like, his son just goes off in a huff, saying that he never listens to him, but it's, like, it's never really established that, like, James Buckley's character just doesn't listen to him. It just, and then, like, a couple scenes later, like, his son just goes back to help James Buckley to, like build, like, the transporter or some shit, or fix it, and it's just like, and it's just completely resolved. Like, the drama between those two characters, it's just, they're just good all of a sudden. Like, and they even talk. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, it's fine now. It's like, it's all good. So yeah, you know, that was just, it just seemed like Ed just put that into the script, that bit of drama, just for the sake of it, or he's just, I don't know, venting some personal stuff into the script maybe. I mean, that happens a lot. Like, it's just the character dramas are just resolved in a flash because there just isn't enough time to flesh them out. It's just all replaced with just meaningless, like, action, and it's such a shame, man. Number 5, the Preachy Unsubtle message. So the moral of this episode is we need to stop being, like, shitty human beings and, like, stop having wars and, like, be more environmentally friendly, or we're gonna destroy our planet and maybe become mutants like the dregs. You know, which are good messages, but they're presented by the Doctor giving, like, a preachy speech to, like, the companions, which was something straight out of a bloody Neil Breen film.
Respect yourselves. Love nature. Live in peace.
I don't think it was necessary. Like, I think the fact that the actions of the human race could lead to this future where Earth is nothing but a wasteland, where the last remnants of humanity are, like, mutated beasts, that speaks for itself. Like, so there's no need for the preach speech by the Doctor. Like, it just wasn't needed at all. So yeah, all in all, I'd say this episode was average at best, you know, and that's just me being kind, to be honest. Like, it just didn't feel very original. Like, it just felt like a mix of episodes we've seen before, such as, like, The Leisure Hive and, like, Midnight. Like, it's like the dregs, like, didn't have a very original design, like I talked about earlier. Like, they just looked like the Hoiks. So it's like, you know, they could have like tried to come up with a more original design at least. I like the pacing, like, was just way too fast, and I just wasn't engaged in the episode at all. You know, it just felt like, you know, it was just Ed Hime just wanted to get the script done as fast as possible, and so, you know, just trying to fit a lot in just as fast as he could. Yeah, I mean, the episode being like 10 minutes shorter than other episodes in the past series or so, like, didn't help at all, really. So yeah, you know, it's just another underwhelming episode in a long line of underwhelming episodes produced by Chris Chibnall. Ah, dear, what a mess. Right, anyway, so that's my lot for today. See you next time, everyone.